One of the most profoundly confusing and emotionally wrenching experiences I encountered while growing up was the sight of the women in my family being left behind by the men they loved, men they had invested in, trusted, and built their lives around. I saw it happen repeatedly, like a pattern that seemed impossible to break. It started with my parents, whose marriage ended in divorce when I was still young. Watching my mother's heartache unfold before my eyes was something that stayed with me for years. Then it happened to my grandmother. She had been in a long, seemingly stable relationship, yet one day the man she had committed her life to simply walked away. My sister, too, experienced the same pain when her engagement fell apart, leaving her devastated and confused. I could never quite grasp the reasons behind this recurring heartbreak. I would ask myself time and time again, why would these men leave such extraordinary women? These women were not only beautiful, but they were also kind, intelligent, supportive, and devoted. It didn't make sense to me then, and for a long time I was stuck in that confusion. If you're new here, welcome. In this video, I want to shed some light on this mystery. A mystery that so many women have encountered but rarely understand. My hope is that by the time you finish watching, you will have more insight into why men sometimes walk away from relationships that seem perfect on the outside. I want to help you understand what's happening behind the scenes in a man's mind when he makes that decision. This video isn't meant to make you resent men, think they're heartless, or believe that they're all just out to manipulate you. Quite the opposite. This content is about providing you with clarity so that if and when a man decides to leave your side, you're no longer left in a state of confusion and hurt. You won't have to go online every day searching for answers or questioning what went wrong in your relationship. You'll have a clearer understanding of the dynamics at play. So without further ado, let's begin. Number 1, the core reason men leave. There is only one. It may sound overly simplistic, but the truth is, there's really only one core reason why a man will leave you. He envisions a better future without you. This is the fundamental truth that so many relationship gurus and endless breakup advice columns tend to overlook or complicate with unnecessary layers of analysis. Now, I know that's a hard pill to swallow. It's painful, raw, and difficult to come to terms with. But once you truly understand this concept, it has the power to transform how you approach relationships and heartbreak. Think about it. If a man believed that his best possible future was with you, he wouldn't leave. Period. When someone walks away, it's because they believe something better is waiting for them out there, and sadly, you're not part of that future vision. It's harsh, but necessary to understand. This doesn't mean you aren't good enough, beautiful enough, or smart enough. It just means that in his mind, the future he desires doesn't include you. When you internalize this, you can start to shift your focus away from wondering what's wrong with you or what you could have done differently, and instead begin to think about what he's looking for. What is it that he believes he can find out there that he doesn't think he can have with you? Has he found something he believes is better with someone else? Or is he searching for something you aren't providing? The moment you stop focusing on your perceived flaws and start thinking about his motivations, you begin to break free from the endless loop of self-blame. Number 2, the 80-20 rule and why it matters. One of the most common scenarios in which men leave long-term relationships is when they meet someone new. Often, it's not that the man doesn't appreciate the woman he's with, it's that he's fallen into the trap of the 80-20 principle. Let me explain. In a typical relationship, the woman he's with might have 80% of the qualities that he's looking for. She's supportive, caring, intelligent, and they share a good level of compatibility. But because no one is perfect, she might be missing that remaining 20%. Maybe it's a particular personality trait, a certain level of physical attraction, or some lifestyle preference that she doesn't quite fulfill. Then, one day, this man meets another woman who embodies that elusive 20%. In his mind, she suddenly appears to be the perfect partner. She has everything he's been missing, or so he believes. So, what does he do? He leaves his 80% woman, convinced that this new relationship will be everything he's ever dreamed of. But here's the catch. More often than not, the man eventually realizes that the new woman he's with only provides that 20%, and he's sacrificed the deeper, more meaningful connection he had with the woman who fulfilled 80% of his needs. At this point, he might think about going back, but pride usually gets in the way, or the woman he left has already moved on. He's stuck with his decision, and now he has to figure out how to make this new, less fulfilling relationship work. So, what can we learn from this? Ladies, when you're in a relationship, pay attention to how your man values the 80% that you bring to the table. Does he express appreciation for your qualities, or is he constantly nitpicking the things you don't have? Does he seem satisfied, or is he always searching for that elusive 20%? Number 3. He's not ready to grow up. Another common reason men leave is simply that they aren't ready to grow up. Emotional maturity isn't always tied to age. I've met men in their 50s who are still avoiding commitment and responsibility, and I've met men in their 20s who are fully prepared to build a future with their partner. So don't be fooled into thinking that a man's readiness for a relationship is tied to how old he is. Being in a committed relationship requires a level of emotional maturity that some men just aren't willing to develop. It's not easy to put someone else's needs on the same level as your own, and it's even harder to take responsibility for the well-being of a relationship. Imagine someone who loves to eat gourmet meals but never wants to do the dishes afterward. They enjoy the benefits of the meal, but they're not willing to deal with the effort and responsibility that comes with it. This is how some men view relationships. They want the love, the excitement, the intimacy, but they aren't ready for the work that comes with maintaining a healthy, long-term connection. If a man sees commitment, responsibility, and accountability as burdens instead of essential parts of a relationship, he's going to walk away eventually. He might not tell you that directly, but deep down, he knows he's not ready to step up and be the partner you need. In his mind, it's easier to leave than to face the reality of what a mature relationship requires. So, if a man is not showing signs of growth, if he's not willing to evolve emotionally, it's better to recognize this early on before you invest too much of yourself. Number 4. Attraction without depth is not enough. Attraction and chemistry are powerful forces. The thrill of a new relationship can feel intoxicating, like you're on top of the world. But the reality is, physical attraction and surface-level chemistry can only carry a relationship so far. It's like the excitement you feel when you get a brand new phone. You can't wait to unbox it, explore its features and show it off. But as time goes on, the excitement fades, and eventually that new gadget becomes just another thing you own. The same is true for relationships that are built solely on attraction. In contrast, think about the photos on your phone. Those memories hold deep emotional value. You may change phones over the years, but you hold on to the same precious memories because they mean something. A lasting relationship works the same way. It's the emotional connection, the shared experiences, the meaningful moments that create a bond that can withstand the test of time. So when a man is with you, pay attention to whether he sees you as a fleeting thrill or as someone he wants to build a future with. Is he focused only on the surface, or does he appreciate the deeper connection you share? Number 5, he found someone better for him, not better than you. This point can be one of the most painful to accept, but it's crucial for your growth and healing. Sometimes, after a man leaves, he may go on to find someone he believes is better for him. Notice, I said better for him, not better than you. There's an important distinction here. It's entirely possible that after your relationship ends, he meets someone who fits more closely with the future he envisions for himself. That doesn't mean she's a better person than you or that she has more value. It just means she aligns with his current needs, desires, or goals. Now, I know how difficult it is to watch someone you loved move on and find happiness with someone else. It can be easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to this new woman, picking apart every aspect of yourself and wondering what she has that you don't. But here's the truth. Relationships end for a reason. Sometimes that reason is simply that the connection was never meant to last forever. It was part of your journey, but it wasn't your final destination. Think of life as a book. When a sentence ends, you don't question why the writer chose to end it there. You simply move on to the next.